Hi guys, Rich from Out Smart. This is actually a very different rack walkthrough because we're at the Snap One booth at ISE. This is the rack on the stand, and this is actually showing some of their products, some of which are new. So I'm going to give you a little rack run through and show you what we've got going on here. So starting up at the top, we've got the Araknis router, pretty standard. So we'll go past that one. Then got a Araknis switch. This is out of the 310 series of switches. But the first component I'm going to talk about in depth is the core controller. So recently Control4 brought out the core series of controllers. This is a Core 5, which is brought out to directly replace the EA5. The difference on these models is obviously the processing power that they've got behind them, and they've also got more streams available, the more digital outputs on the back of that. So yeah, the Core series, they've got a Core 1, Core 3 and a Core 5, with the CA10 still sitting at the top of the tree. So coming down here, we've actually got a Triad 1. This Triad 1 is in a rack mount. Control4 make these, if you didn't know they make them. This is a Triad 1 rack mount designed for housing two Triad 1s. It's 3U and it's got the ventilation built into it, so it can take up quite a lot of rack size, but obviously it's taking care of the ventilation. Now this Triad 1 in the rack here is actually not ID'd. I can tell that by the green status light, but I'm sure these products here are just for demo. So the Triad 1 is the Triad streaming amplifier. If you come from a world of different audio, it's a bit like a Sonos amp really. Differences on this compared to a Sonos amp is it's got infrareds on it. So where these are really good to use is on putting in a TV, soundbar, single zone of audio, and then you get zone of audio added at last minute. Triad 1 would be one place to go. They're also really good, and we're going to come on to in a second. You might see behind me there is the soundbars. Now if clients said to you last minute, Rich, I want a soundbar, placing one of these in an in-wall box behind the TV, optical straight out of the TV into there. It's got an optical input, digital audio input, analog audio input, straight into this processor, will stream through, and that is fantastic. Coming down there, we've got a binary receiver here. This is a 1U binary rack mount. In here though, this is temporary because this is new. This is the new episode link. So a new product from Snap is the link. And basically what the link is, it's an AirPlay 2 receiver. You can use it to stream audio directly to it as an input into an amp. You could feed 8 of these into a Triad amp and give 8 zones of AirPlay 2 audio. Spotify Connect and all the usual jazz. New product, really cool. We're probably going to do a separate video on that as a YouTube short. Next up then, we've got the Triad amp. This is the V2. These have also been out a little while. It's the Triad amp. What more can I say about it? I'm going to say something different on it in a second. It's got a V3. Next then, we've got the Triad Audio Matrix, so the 16x16. This is probably our go-to on the Audio Matrix, and why we tend to use the Triad Audio Matrixes is because then through your Control4 app, you get the EQ in the app. Having EQ in the app isn't for every customer, but for a lot of customers that are really into audio, want to be able to finesse things. I've got a few customers springing to mind in my head right now. We enable this option in navigators and give them it in all the rooms, so really cool feature. Down here then we've got the Episode Matrix amp. This is the 16 channel 8 zone model. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan. I will stay honest, I'm not the biggest fan. We much prefer the Triad Audio Matrix with separate amps. I don't like the Matrix amp. Honesty is the best policy. So let's go a bit further down on the rack. Coming down. Coming down. So coming down the bottom of the amp then, boys, come and have a look at this. This is the new amp from Triad. 125 watts per channel, so the reason we've gone for a bit more of a beefy amp on this is probably to match the new Triad PDX range of speakers, which are obviously better speakers, better amp, ultimately better audio. So it costs a little bit more, but the quality of this is going to be unparalleled. Next up, we've got the Episode 70 volt, 100 volt line amps. So these, I can see on here because we can edit the text, this is powering the new Radiance speakers, which again, we're going to do a separate video on the Radiance speaker lights. Really cool new products, great for gardens, great for the outdoors, but we'll do a separate video on that. So we've got 2 of those. I'm not going to cover both. Well, in fact, we've got 2, but they're both slightly different. One's 1,000 watts, one's 2,000 watts. Next up here, the Episode Mini AVR. Yeah, so that little device there is an AVR. So AVRs traditionally are going to be for you. They're going to be a big chunky piece of kit in your rack. However, again, I'm not talking all your rooms. I'm not talking your cinema rooms. I'm talking your kids' playrooms with a 5.1, small little snug, some maybe little speakers, then that little mini 5.1 AVR is going to power them 5 channels of audio. So next up then we've got the Episode Matrix amp here. So this is another one, looks exactly the same apart from the differences on this. This is 8 channels or 4 zones. So we've got that on there, and then we've got another 16 one. So yeah, that's some of the products in the rack. That's not all of the new products, that's just some of the products that they've got on display to show it in a rack format. And I thought, listen, let's do a very different rack walkthrough. But yeah, that's that.